everybody? Welcome into the show right here. And I hope that everybody has been doing great. I was doing a live show on Twitch earlier today, and that was a thing. Um, and I was talking about, golf and whatnot and all that kind of stuff. And I do think that, you know, golf is a beautiful sport, and lots of people are asking for it to shorten down, the tour and whatnot. I'm like, that shouldn't be the case. Golf is a beautiful sport, and lots of people are asking. And that is a thing that I wouldn't like it for it to be a thing. But, what can you expect when it comes to a sport like golf, where there's a lot of people that want different things in different ways? What can you expect when it comes to a sport like golf? That's a common thing to be happening. Let me see if I can get my stuff flowing with this. I doubt it. No, not too much power. Right? No. Let me try it one more time because I really would love to use my mic, but nope, not possible. Oh, that's okay. You're gonna hear some clink clangs here and there sometimes. But for those of you tuning in, welcome, welcome. I'm Amanda Van Zark, and this is Fem's Post Journal, and I talk all things golf, golf in every flavor. I'm Amanda Van Zark, and all right, let's see what we have around here. Who's around? Who's not around? That's the matter of fact. So, what's good? All right, so it's working. The chat is working accordingly. So let's see what what the people have to say about all the things around. Where are you all tuning in from? Come in, come on. Don't be afraid. I don't bite. I do not bite whatsoever. Let's see if we can see in the home my on the home page that I'm live. Yep, you can see that I'm live, running here as smooth as possible. Yep, yep, yep. I'm live. Yep. Everything is flowing, everything is going, and I'm enjoying it. All right, let's see. What would we have here? So I've been doing this thing, 31-day sprint, and it's been flowing as best as it can. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really having a good time, and I would love for all my equipment to be working at this point in time, but whatever. You're gonna have to listen to my little wonky little voice for a second here. But the thing is that it's been great. Robin Marks is the one that actually did all the incentive of this, and I'm actually really excited about it. And I've been trying not to go too overboard with everything, because I tend to do that. I tend to be a little overboard and overwhelm people with my content and whatnot. And that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. But at least I'm doing better. I am structuring myself as best as possible, and I'm throwing myself out there more than ever, not just with the tweets and the articles, but actually bonding with the people, and then I like that. I like that I'm running with that. Hope that other people can join in, other people can do their thing, and that I'll be more than glad to be part of everything. So my advice for those of you that are starting out as a sports writer is that write from the heart, not don't be afraid to use your opinion. Also, don't write when it feels like homework. Write when you have good quality and good thoughts. You put on an article, or a note, and by all means, please do not post and ghost. The only way that it works, and the only way that your Substack or newsletter is gonna build any momentum and actually do an impact, whether it is a profitable impact or a just an impact within your niche. You gotta network. You gotta do some PR. You gotta get yourself out there and know that people are actually interacting with you. That's the only way you'll know that things are working. And don't be afraid if your articles are not 1,000 words, or they don't look like a feature or something like that. No, it's okay. Don't worry. 250 word count is more than acceptable in my book and in many people's book. At this point in time, lots of people don't have too much time to read all the Substacks available, all the articles and sports available, and sometimes you do need to like sit down and write something shorter, so that many people can actually consume you. Because most people on Substack actually do have their own journal, their own newsletter, and they are actually writing themselves. And sometimes they are so caught up on the writing that they don't have time to check other people. So if you write shorter articles, boom, you got more people reading, and that is what makes you a better sports writer. And that is something that I wanted to touch in, and put it in here as best as possible, because sometimes we do forget that. We think that the more information we can put on an article, the better. And sometimes if you can go straight to the point, better. Sometimes my articles don't even pass the 300 word count, and that's fine. That's fine, because people are not wanting to read wars in Substack. What they want is authentic, pure, uh, heartfelt, opinionated writing or a quick hit, That's all they want. Nothing else. And you trying to overstress it, trying to get yourself into writing a full-on memoir, or like a full-on thousands of words, like an essay that you have to turn in school. No, 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 that's not what people want. It works in certain things, like when it's like technical information, but when it comes to like a quick hit or an opinion or a rant or something, keep it short, short and sweet. Short and sweet, trust me, and you'll have more people reading than ever. I learned that the hard way because I was doing run-on sentences, writing really long, putting lots of dashes and whatnot, and I overwhelmed everybody. And now that I'm writing shorter and I'm, being more precise with my articles, people are reading more. And that is my little advice to everybody that is around here getting themselves aware of all this stuff, That's just my little tiny advice for all of you out there. So if you're willing to get yourself connected with that, you'll be more than good. You'll be fine. Actually, you'll be fine. You'll be very, 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 very fine. You know? Don't overstress it. Don't overstress it. Okay? Keep that in mind, and you'll be having a better time. So, yeah. So, for those of you who are wanting to know, the team golf for the women's, men, and boys and girls have been announced. You can check it out on their website on Team Golf. I mean, not Team Golf, on Canada Golf or Golf Canada. You can check it out over there, and you'll be more than happy that you did. Trust me, you'll be more than happy that you did, and that is all that matters. You know, that is all that matters. So, let's get ourselves flowing and running here. That's how it goes. So, let me whip out some stuff around here, and let me see. Let me ask you. If you are on a golf course, let me ask you, if you're on a golf course and for some reason, they temporarily placed a tee a little closer to the hole, for whatever reason they did so, And when you go and check out that hole, you hit the ball, you swing, hit, boom, and it's an ace. Hole in one. Would you really count that as an ace? Or would you say that that's a par three from a par four, and then it turned out to be that you aced it on a par three that was temporarily there? I don't know. It sounds a little sketchy, but I would say, welcome JDB, welcome JDB, welcome to the show right here. Um, in your opinion, let me ask you, JDB. You probably don't know much about golf, but I'll just throw it in there because I like to talk about all the stuff that I write about. So, if you are golfing, and let's say there is this 200-yard golf course, and the hole is 200 yards away, and all of a sudden, you are putting yourself out there, and they temporarily placed a tee where you actually hit it for the first time with the driver, uh, like 20 yards less closer to the hole, and you hit it. Would you consider that a hole in one if it went in a hole in one? Or would you say, not really, because that was a temporarily starting point, and it's actually over here just because they're fixing the actual yardage and the actual place where you actually hit it. You know, they call it a tee. They call it a tee on golf. Um, would you actually consider that a hole in one, or would you saying, you know what? Yeah, I was closer to the hole, so I don't know. And this is temporarily, because there's a big possibility when you go back to that same hole the next time with your friends, you're gonna be like, I actually did a hole in one this one, but I wasn't here. I was actually a little closer. And they'll be like, that was temporarily. That don't count. That they might say that to you. They might say that to you. But in my case, I would say, sure, it could be counted as all in one. If it was a par four originally and temporarily became a par three, because I would say if it's closer, it becomes a par three because there's one less stroke to be done. One less stroke. And you did a whole one. You did a whole one when it was temporarily a par three, not a par four. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Because here on X, on where they used to call them Twitter, they are debating, and some people say sorry, but no, it doesn't count. Can't tell yourself all you want and think that you did it, but at the end of the day, if it was closer to the hole, it doesn't count. And I'm like, but wait, come on, slow it down, folks, slow it down. It does count. But it doesn't count on the original plays of the tee, but it counts on the closer side, on the when it became a par three. That's when it comes, Roman Long said, that's the best temporary green I've ever seen, because it's closer, it's more prettier, and, that's a thing. So, see, this person agrees with me. It's been turned into a par three on the scoreboard. It absolutely is a hole in one, and it's the best part that in 6 months, when you come back, they're gonna be like, "Wait, wasn't I teeing over there? No, that was temporarily. You're teeing now over here, 20 yards further from the hole. So you are now doing it from here. So it did count as a hole in one when you were over there, but now you're over here. So you got to try again. Sorry." See that person aligns with me. Hutch aligns with my line of thought, and that's what I like to see. Anyways, so for those of you tuning in, thank you for tuning in. I want to ask you all. I was asking earlier. Um, Tiger Woods has actually expressed that there's a lot of people saying that um golf is in a weird spot, things are changing. We have the TGL that is semi-simulated and semi-real because the chipping, I mean, the chipping and the putting is um is real, but the actual teeing and hitting it from the bunker and whatnot is all simulated. And there's many other things that are changing the world of golf. You know, it's changing the world of how we perceive this sport. And Tiger Woods has expressed there's a lot of people saying that we should shorten the tour just because um we want some people want less games. They think that games go for too long. You know, when you actually see a sporting event of golf, um it's 4 rounds, 1 round each day. You see each individual, player going 18 rounds on 4 different days. It can go from the end of the week to the weekend. I've seen ones that start on Friday and they end on or they start Thursday and then they end on Sunday, you know, and they have 4 days. You know, and some people are saying too long. It extends for too long, and mind you, every round can last up to like literally a work shift from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. One round. One round can last that long. And sometimes what they do, if you want to just tune into a specific golfer, because golf is an individual sport. Sometimes what they do is on, let's say, ESPN Plus, they have 4 different streams running up the same match, and you can see this amount of players over here in this stream. In this other stream, you can see this other amount of players. And on this other stream, you can see this amount of players. And on the broadcast on Golf Channel, which is where I mostly watch my golf games, I like the Golf Channel because it's not just about the matches. There's also those documentaries in between. And I like that. I like to see those documentaries of the best hole, the most difficult hole, and what made Tiger Woods the best golfer in the world? What makes McIlroy at this point in time a great golfer? You know, what makes Lim King, Gino Thickentool, Brooke Henderson, all those kind of documentaries. I like those. So um, the thing is that rounds can take for so long, and I've actually had times where I've been started a game on a stream or on a broadcast, and literally I saw the sun go away. And that's why lots of people that are casual golf watchers, they're not so into it like I am. Um, they would prefer shorter games and shorter tour like the whole season. And I digress because that would mean that we wouldn't have golf the whole year. We would have it probably half a year or a fourth of the year. I don't know. Um, what I do think that they should do is probably like divide the year in different things. You know, for example, the other form of golf that I like is disc golf. Disc golf, you might probably say it's like frisbee and golf at the same time. You know, but no, it's a disc. It's not a frisbee. Frisbee is it's a really thin plastic, and a disc is more thicker and made of like some rubber and some plastic and whatnot. So the thing is, when you see the whole season of disc golf, for example, you see that they have different events throughout the year that are extremely different. We have the Discmania Challenge. We have the regular matches. We have the ones that are try to make an ace or you don't get it. You know, that sort of stuff. You know, they're different events with different mentalities and different rules throughout the whole season, but there is still the main games where you have all the same games with the official rules of disc golf. So I think traditional golf could benefit of that, which is what we're seeing now with the TGL. TGL is shorter. It's team based. Three players per game. I mean per team. We're already seeing teams from different states. We have Boston and so on and so forth. And from there, um, we're seeing this sort of thing where um, it feels different, feels fresh, you know? And traditional golf could benefit from that, having different events, and some of the events have like this sort of particular rules. Like when you see, like, for example, the NBA, we have the All-Star games, we have the slam dunks contest, we have the um I forgot the name for the women's NBA, where they go through some like um obstacles and whatnot. Those sort of things should happen more often than not, on golf. Have different events and maybe some special events here and there. And when I say special events, I don't mean like in the male side of golf where we have the Masters and stuff like that. No, 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 no. I'm asking for real events with like specific things. For example, maybe you can do when they do a match play. Match play on golf is when two players go head to head, back and forth, and see who's better. We saw that once with the PGA Tour versus the LIV. Two players from the PGA and two players from the LIV. So the thing is, they should do a match where, which I play this on the esports version of golf, which is WGT golf. That's the esport version, the official esport, because there's a lot of video games for golf. So we're instead of playing an actual game of golf where you're supposed to put it in the hole, why not make an event where you see who can from the farthest, let's say 300 yards, or 400 yards away from the hole, who can get it closer. You don't have to put it in the hole, just drive it, and whoever from just the tee and get a closer as the winner of that match. And they can do it like a few times in that same day. And then, boom, and we rotate. And that could be a fun event. We can call it close to the hole or something like that. But, yeah, I don't know. Golf is a sport that you have to really understand. You really have to really put yourself out there and give yourself a try and a chance to sit down and watch a full match, the full 4 rounds, to actually see if you can actually sustain a game of golf, a golfing event. And, I love softball, baseball, basketball, um, curling, hockey, and so on and so forth. But nothing captivates me much as golf. I can watch also boxing and UFC and martial arts, but you know, ever since I tried watching golf, my mind blew away. And what's funny about it? How did I get into golf? You might ask. Because I don't play golf. I only play recreationally, once every million years. Um, I'm more of a golf journalist. I like to just talk about the people that are playing good. Um, you might ask yourself, how do I got into golf? I was a little kid and I got introduced to Mario Golf. And after that, I got obsessed with the golf video games. I started playing Hot Shot. Uh, I did try the PGA for a while, but I never played it. I only played a demo. Um, I played Wii Sports with the golf. I then went to Nintendo Switch Golf. I played golfing with friends or golf with friends. Um, I played so many video games that have mini games of mini golf. And since then, I've been so obsessed with the video game versions of many different video game versions of golf that I just keep on trying them over and over. And now I just play on stream WGT Golf, which I do stream on Twitch. But if every one of you give me a great feedback on my sports journalism right here for golf, and you enjoy this radio show that I'm doing right now, even though I'm not really using my radio mic, which is really annoying because for some reason my adapter for my iPhone is not working, and I don't understand why Substack doesn't let you do some stream straight on the computer. It would be way much more easier, um, in the sense of connecting, my professional radio equipment to the stream. So if you guys give me a good feedback and you think this is fun and you like listening to me, you know, rant and banter about golf, I might be considering to switch from Twitch to Substack Lives instead. Um I'm just trying to grow the community as much as I can. I've tried so many different options, from doing Discord, from doing a WhatsApp channel, to trying to have a group chat on Twitch. I mean, not Twitch, on Twitter, which we now call it X. I've tried getting people connected through the chat of Substack, and I have kind of flopped there. The only thing that really works for me, that people engage with me a lot, is YouTube Shorts and the Substack. The publications themselves. The articles, as I might say so myself. But if you all enjoy this radio show that I'm doing here, of me bantering, I could at some point, um, whenever I get the chance to connect all the audio equipment, maybe do what I used to do before: golf news, music break, golf news, music break, like how you hear on the FM radio, where you hear a guy say a comment, and you hear some more music, comment, music, comment. Eventually I might try to do that here, but like I was trying to say, if you all enjoy this, I might consider switching from Twitch, even though I'm affiliated there, but I don't get anyone tuning in. I only get like one or two people tuning in for like half a second, and they just walk out. The only reason I am affiliated without going through all the achievements and trouble is because I I upload music to DistroKid. I'm a musician myself. Um but my music turned out more from being an artist and a drummer to more like doing jingles for like radio shows and commercials. Um, so the thing is that I upload music there, and they did this sort of partnering with Twitch, that if you're a musician and you want to showcase your music, then you can just click here and get affiliated, and boom, I was automatically affiliated, and from there, boom, I started doing. And I did had a few people in there. I did switch from being a musician on Twitch to talking about like Star Wars and stuff like that, but it wasn't working well until I said my first few words about someone swinging a club on a golf course. That went miles. That went yards. So I'm really happy for what is happening around my community of golf enthusiasts, or people that don't know about golf, but they are interested in hearing what I have to say about golf. Um, and that is just incredible, to say the least. And I really appreciate every single one of you that have been reading and listening to my banter, because I'm just an average Joe. I don't think I believe all the thousands of people that are just checking out my content. Like, literally, do you, all you mates there, want to know how many people check me out on YouTube Shorts? 6,200. 6,000 people. And I still don't believe how and why am I so checked. 6,000 people check my. Sure, they don't all translate to subscribers. I only have 554 subscribers on YouTube, but six 6,000, 60,000. 60,000, actually. Let me rephrase that. 60,000 people are checking me out. 60,000, 60K. 60K. You know how incredible that is for someone that is just an average Joe that studied communications, had a dream to becoming a journalist, and originally in entertainment, but then ended up on the sports world. And you know what's funny? You know what's funny? All of you out here, Lori, Metro, GB, GDB, all of you right here. Do you all want to know what's funny about this? When I was in college studying communications, in a specific concentration on radio and radio marketing, ESPN actually had come over to my college to ask for interns for basketball, for NBA. journalist, and it wasn't gonna be like full on legit journalists. It was just gonna be those reporters that they throw them in the middle of the court and they ask like two or three questions after the game is done and then they walk away. It was to do that. Just at the end of the game, walk up to a basketball player and say, "Hey, how did you felt on the uh third quarter?" And then they would answer the question. And I said, I don't care. All I want to do is play music on the radio and talk. I don't want to talk about sports. I want to talk about entertainment. 4 years later, here I am. I went circles and I ended up talking about sports as much as I denied it. As much as I denied it. Back then and it's still today, I'm a huge geek. I'm a huge nerd. You can throw me the Spider-Mans, the anime, the Thor, um, the Pokemons and all that, and I'll be really into it and I'll be all excited about it because I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. I'm gonna say it out there. I'm no jock. I'm no sporty person. I'm a full-on nerd. I'd rather be in my house locked in watching anime and playing video games and playing my drums as much as possible. But I ended up here talking about golf. I might be going in circles here with this show, but like I said a few minutes ago, if you all end up liking and enjoying this radio show, I might consider switching here because I've tried so many different places for live shows, from Facebook to Instagram to Blast Radio. If you don't know what Blast Radio is a service that helps you do radio without having to have a full-on radio station. You can either buy their microphone or their audio interface or or just the software that they have. It's more inexpensive to get the software. It's only $40 and you're up and running. Um so yeah, I've tried so many different things. And I also tried this short-lived Amazon app that was called AMP, and you all you do there was you could choose from the Amazon library some music, and you can talk and go back and forth. And I also tried Station Head, and I tried so many different things for like a radio show, and nothing actually ever happened and worked. I wouldn't get people tuning in on AMP. It was actually working, but that short lived and it died. Amazon cut it down. And I was making um monthly. I was making like almost $500 from there. I think it was, no, was it monthly? Yeah, it was monthly. So if that would have continued and worked better, things could have get better and they would have added like maybe ads or sponsors or something and had a different incentive. That could have been potential because, well, what I liked about it was like no matter if you're a small creator or a big creator, you're always gonna get paid. And that was fun. And I'm not just looking for the money. The only reason I sometimes search for the money, it's not because I want to make money out of my journal. Because if I could, I'd make this for free. I actually do it already. I actually do this for free because I like entertaining all of you that are listening. It's my passion to entertain everybody. I love talking. Talking is a thing that I do naturally. Heck, I don't even have a script right now, and I'm talking all this time. But the thing is that the reason why I would love to make money out of my journal is because I'd love to just turn on the microphone and be here all day. I'd love to just be typing on my keyboard and writing golf news all day. I'd love to be just doing that all the time without having to worry that I got bills to pay. And I can just do this and I'll be sure that I'll be able to pay my bills just cuz I'm still going to have money to back me up. So, that's the thing. I've tried Medium too, but Medium, it's a little tricky. Medium has become this sort of version of Substack where if you don't talk about success, you're not gonna get read. If you don't talk about AI, you're not gonna be read. If you don't talk about how to be a billionaire, you're not gonna be read. Simple. Period. That's what Medium has become. And I do pay the $5 to see if that ever works. But if Substack comes back and it just creeps in like it's already doing, thanks to Rory Marks with his 31-day sprint, Substack has been like creeping in back to me. Um, I think I might just cut it with Medium, because Medium I barely get any readers, barely. I'm already monetized there, but I barely get any readers. I'd rather have all you guys here that are not just reading but responding to me, restacking, um, and doing just great things. Heck, all of us, we are the sports stackers. We are here in the Substack world um writing about sports, and that's amazing. Like, you don't know how many sports I've actually learned about that I never thought existed, you know? There's this one sport that I can't remember right now that it looks like baseball, but it's not baseball and it's not cricket. And I think it's played in Norway. It's like really famous in Norway. And I'm like, huh, crazy. I never thought I knew about weird sports. There is a thing. There is a thing called boxing with chess. You might be asking yourself, boxing with chess? What are you just boxing strategically? No, no. You sit down, you play a round of chess, and every time you eat one of your opponent's pawns or any other pieces, you both have to stand up, go to a ring, and punch each other. And the first one that manages to connect a punch, you go back. I think it's like that. Or you stay fighting until the bell rings, and then you go back and continue playing more chess. That's a thing. That is a legit thing. I'm not making it up. You can go to YouTube and check boxing chess or chess boxing. It's a legit thing. And I've been, so blessed and so happy to be part of the sports community, because I used to be heavily on the music communities. I used to do the Beattober. If you look on YouTube for Tatro was I used to be part of his community and share my music and all that. But it never blew up as much as my golf stuff. I've never had 60K people checking me out monthly, you know? I've never had that before. And having a flood bombardment of comments everywhere, you know? And I'm actually really stoked and happy about this. And honestly, I couldn't be more happy. And all of you that are part of the sports stackers community, you better be sure that at some point I'm going to read not just your notes, but your actual publication. I've already checked Practice, I've already checked Lori, I've already checked Metro, I've checked so many. And all of you have such good things to say. All of you have so many good, but really good writing. And you all have like a love for the sport that you talk about. Where there is a few, just because you're connecting it to, like, let's say, women in sports, or maybe you talk about NFL, or maybe you talk about NBA. But, you know, I find so interesting what Rory Marks is doing, because most people, they just intertwine the NBA fantasy into the NBA talking, but Rory Marks said, "I'm not gonna talk at all about the actual basketball NBA discussion. No, 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 no. I'm gonna center it and be the best fantasy NBA possible uh content creator." And I'm like, wow, that is the most niche, the most intricate thing ever. Sure, sure, you can write right there in the chat. Oh, but it doesn't ESPN have shows on that? Sure. One thing is having a show on that, and another thing is just advocating for NBA fantasy. That's a whole different story. Because even these people that talk about NBA fantasy, when they go back to the social media, they start talking about regular NBA, the actual real thing. And sure, NBA fantasy at some extent connects to the NBA because the way they perform in the NBA is how it's going to reflect on your fantasy. That is for sure. That is for sure. That's a thing. But what he's doing is it's interesting, and I like that, and I like that kind of stuff. And I wrote a note here earlier. Um, I know that some of you might be new to the world of writing and all that kind of stuff, and I've learned I've learned a lot from writing a lot of golf articles and women in sports articles in general. I've learned so much about writing. And when you write an article on the internet, I'm not talking about when you write for an actual publication on a magazine or a printed newspaper. I'm talking about on the internet. On the internet, when you write an article, it don't matter if you wrote 1,000 words, if you wrote 250 words, if you wrote 1 billion words. It don't matter how many words you wrote, as long as what you said made the reader feel something, you are going to get yourself more readers. Because that person's going to want to share it. That person's going to have an opinion about it. That person's going to write a note about it. And then, boom, it's spreading around. And then your article went viral. I haven't had an article go viral, but that is a method. That is a method. Just write something that makes the reader feel something. Don't be hyper fixated. No, no, no. I gotta write 1,000 words. If I don't write 1,000 words, it's not gonna work. I gotta write 2,000 words. It gotta have like 5,000 paragraphs. Who cares? If what you're writing makes them feel something, they're gonna follow you. They're gonna subscribe to you. And if you have a paywall, they're gonna pay that paywall. They're gonna pay it. They're gonna open that paywall as fast as they can. Trust me, that's a thing. So, for all you new sports writer out there, my advice is to write from the heart. And don't be afraid to include your opinion. Also, you shouldn't write when it feels like homework, but when it feels like high quality inspired writing. And by all means, hear me out. Do not post and ghost. Try to network around and build partners along the way. P.S. Like I said, it's okay if your article is just 250 word count. It's okay. Period. Simple. Simple as that. Don't worry. Don't worry about it whatsoever. Hey, thank you for that like on the show here, Emma. I see that you're a golfer. Huh. You are one heck of a golfer. You're pretty tall too. Huh. And I like that. What is that? Oh, that's a putter. You're using a putter there with the nice grip there. Nice grip there. Nice, nice. All right. So you are a golfer. I'll subscribe to you. All right. I'll recommend you and I'll share. See, that's how it works. You get a like somewhere. Your stuff is being spread, and then you do. simple. You click follow, and then they'll follow you. Then you share in a note. Boom, done. Simple. No need to worry anymore. So that's how things work and go and flow. Anyways, I appreciate everybody listening. I appreciate everybody out there. If you can, um make sure to comment under this live when I'm done, and let me know if you enjoyed it. As I keep doing these, I prefer audio only because I like the radio vibe. I rather, instead of people having to focus on me, I'd rather just people listen and they can multitask like how you do with the radio, um, or an audio only podcast. And then if you want to chime in on the messages here down here, you can do so. So I want you to write me down. Oh, this was fun, or your thoughts, or anything, whatever you feel like writing about my radio show here. And if you feel that it's great and that I should do the transition from not having nobody at all at Twitch to the Substack world with the radio show in that sense, because I already do the publication, and I'm really happy doing it here. Um, then by all means, let me know. And if so, I could potentially either do this a few times a week or have a specific day, accumulate as much news as possible, and throw it in there. Or my last option, do it whenever there is something really, really hot happening in the world of golf. And like I was gonna say, and as I keep doing these, um, it'll be more centered on the news rather than me talking about whatever about sports. Anyways, I appreciate you all. I think that you're all amazing and that you're all lovely people, lovely human beings. And I hope that you all continue to write some more sports. So catch you on the flip side. Au revoir. Take care.